Hi, my name is Phil Smith, and if there's one thing I've always loved in life, it's movies. Most kids, when they turn 3 years old, learn how to ride a tricycle. My claim to fame when I was 3 years old, learning how to fully program and operate a VCR. I've been watching movies since I was about a toddler, and there's a lot of movies out there that I've seen that are great, bad, fair, poor, outright, what was I thinking? But then there are some that become, I'd say, nostalgic to me. Almost like a cult classic, sometimes in the vein of, say, films like Rocky Horror Picture Show, It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, which happens to be my all-time favorite film. And then you get films that sometimes people forget about, but somewhere in the back of their minds they remember, hey, wasn't there a movie made a couple years ago, maybe 10, 15, 20, or even 30 years ago, that had to do with some weird plot? Say, for instance, this couple that wanted to have a kid, and they ended up adopting this little pint-sized terror that just absolutely destroyed anything and everything he came into contact with. Well, such a film existed, and that was a film that I loved watching endless amounts of times since 1990. And today, July 27th, 2020, that film is celebrating its 30th, yes, 30th anniversary. That film is none other than Problem Child. Now, Problem Child has had an interesting series of releases over the years. When it first came out, it was on the basic platforms of the day, VHS, Beta, and would you believe it, even Laserdisc. Yeah, I own the Laserdisc of Problem Child, and I am proud of it. But you know something? Problem Child really hasn't received its due when it came to a really definitive release on the home video market. Nowadays, you see so many films that, while others may have forgotten about, others like myself, again, consider them to be very nostalgic, almost a cult classic, and I'd love to see some justice due for Problem Child. To be perfectly honest, when they put this Blu-ray out, all it contained was the widescreen version of the film in an HD presentation, and that was it. No trailer, no commentary, no photo gallery, just very bare bones. So what I'm here to do now is try to gauge the interest of one of the DVD and Blu-ray distribution companies that has put out many, many rare and often forgotten about classic films on Blu-ray. And that is one company that I would like to address this video to personally, Kino Lorber. Kino Lorber has been acquiring a lot of films that were put out by the Universal Studios over the last 4 to 5 years, and personally I think Problem Child would be one of those films that Kino Lorber could do a great job on. Personally, I'd love to contribute to some new bonus features. Audio commentary from the screenwriters Larry Karaszewski and Scott Alexander, new interviews with the surviving cast and crew, Michael Oliver, who played Junior Healy in Problem Child 2, Amy Yazbek, who was in both films, Gilbert Gottfried even. I'd love to see Gilbert's thoughts on the film nowadays. With his series Gilbert Gottfried's Amazing Colossal Podcast, Problem Child and Problem Child 2 almost always come up in conversation. And he honestly seems to have no problem discussing it, just as much as I would have no problem discussing it if I were to be involved in some of these bonus features. I have a list, a huge list of ideas for this, and I would love to get in touch with someone from Kino Lorber Studios to actually discuss the eventual, hopefully, production of a new collector's edition Blu-ray for Problem Child and Problem Child 2. I mean, not only do I own Problem Child on Laserdisc, but I also happen to own Problem Child 2 on Laserdisc, an original theatrical poster for the film. You probably won't be able to see the whole thing if I unfold it, but this is actually an original double-sided poster, the kind that they would put in those big light boxes in movie theaters to have the light shining through it clearly on both sides. Plus, if you can believe this is to show how far my fandom from Problem Child goes. This is a copy of an original Problem Child script from 1989, actually signed by the screenwriters Larry Karaszewski and Scott Alexander. I also own a copy of the Problem Child 2 script, While this one may not be autographed, it is a very cool script to read. So, as I've said, my fandom for Problem Child pretty much knows no limits. I even produced my very own unofficial soundtrack for both Problem Child films, and that was actually 10 years ago, back in 2010. I just loved the music in both those films, but it had never been commercially available on any kind of medium. So I took it upon myself to create my own soundtrack, and I even dedicated it to the late John Ritter. That'd be another thing I'd love to see involved with new bonus features produced. A nice fitting tribute to John Ritter. I know there's plenty of people out there who could definitely get involved in this. Again, Scott Alexander, Larry Karaszewski, possibly director Dennis Dugan and Brian Levant for the films, Amy Yazbek, Ivienne Schwan from Problem Child 2 who played Trixie, Eric Edwards who played Murph, Lorraine Newman even who played Luanda Dumore. We could even get Gilbert Gottfried contributing a little bit. Fingers crossed, I know how busy he tends to be with his podcast, but hey, I am all about trying to push for a brand new collector's edition of Problem Child and Problem Child 2, especially now in honor of the very first film's 30th, I still can't believe it, 30th anniversary. There's still plenty of fans out there for Problem Child and Problem Child 2, and I know I'm definitely one of them who, again, would very, very much love to see a brand new collection of bonus features produced, and I would love to contribute. So again, to the folks at Kino Lorber, this is for you, and for all of those out there who have ever been a fan of Junior Healy, Problem Child, and of course, the late, great John Ritter. Here's to you, 30 years of Problem Child. A brand new collector's edition Blu-ray for Problem Child and Problem Child 2. Let's make it happen, Kino Lorber. I'm Phil Smith, and again, happy 30th anniversary to Problem Child.